lost myself, now I'm fully disguised. My heart got bruised up, so I put it on ice. Been told that I wouldn't make it in this life, but now all of you see there's so much room for me. And I know you think I still can take advantage, and you always took my humbleness for granted, but I know my worth, you can't take that away, away from me. And I know you think I still can take advantage, but it hasn't worked out like you fucking planned it. 'Cause I know my worth, you can't take that away, away from me. lucky. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. Feel so lucky. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. You gotta notice, hey, I'm falling in love. You're feeling something, yeah. You cannot control. Just in time you came, and you changed all my perspective. Just in time you came, and I love it, I love it. It's so great to have you in my life, make me feel so lucky, yeah. It's so great to have you in my life, make me feel so lucky, feel so lucky, yeah. Feel so lucky, yeah. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky, yeah. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. Feel so lucky, feel so lucky. Find me in the corner of the room, when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. And now you wanna see me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it up, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion.
Does it work now? Okay, now it works. Welcome everybody to the Bathurst 90 minutes. We are into the qualifying session that just effectively started, as all the drivers were undergoing the preparation for the qualifying. And now that I notice it, the map is not correctly put. Okay, way better. As always, 20 minutes for... Okay. 20 minutes for the qualifying session because it's both classes in the same track. As we have both the silver and the pro drivers. The first ones are going to be the silver drivers, with the first one being Woodward going across the mountain section up here. Track that usually takes some casualties in the walls that go around the tarmac, the Australian tarmac. 20 degrees is the temperature, 26 degrees is the track temperature, and the sun is shining for next 2 hours, as 20 minutes of qualifying and 90 minutes of racing are going to put a 2-hour show. One of the longest track of the entire track selection and of the calendar. Let's go into the final chicane. Comes Woodward in the 296 Ferrari. Track that usually is home of many endurance races. This one here is going to be a 90-minute race, so kind of endurance, sort of. Woodward is going to go across the line and set at 202.1. Pro times are going to be possibly into the 0 flat, very likely, or 0.5, as Novak goes indeed faster than Woodward, with a 01.525, with Smith going in second place for now, and anybody stealing that very pole position, going into first place in the 201.242. So as time passes, the driver is going to have their idea of the pace that they could bring over the racetrack during the 90-minute race, but Tremlin for now goes faster than anybody else. 01.1 for Tremlin, with Kotke that made the third place for now, just 20 milliseconds away from Nibali. Silver driver that amount to 18 drivers in a 33 driver grid, so a bit more. Oh, there is a yellow flag. Oh, Woodward is going not the correct way there, as you can see from the onboard camera. Something happened in Forrest's elbow. He goes on the brake, oh, way too late, and locks the brake in the rear and concludes his qualifying shot into the wall. He still has to, well, now 1. No, still 2. Earlier on it could have been 3, but now he will have just 2, just for a fraction of a minute, but he is going to have 2. No, only 1. Okay, I was correct, because he still has to go through the entire racetrack for 2 minutes, so he will have a single improvement lap available to his tires before the class has to give the way to the pro class, as Nibali goes definitely quicker than anybody else in a 0.760. Kotke follows behind, 0.8. And now all drivers are kind of improving. The for now goes alpha second quicker. Alpha second slower than Nibali, but he is making an improvement for himself. Definitely a good improvement comes also from Cassitrash, that now put the car in 5th place, as Schneider goes in 3rd out of nowhere, he goes in 3rd place, 80 milliseconds away from the pole position in a 2:00.840. This is still Kotka here that goes side by side with another driver. Oh, tap the ball, and that will not help Kotka. Definitely, as his lap is possibly completely ruined. Quite unfortunate because I think it was some impeding there. That was definitely some impeding with a Ferrari that was behind him. I don't know who exactly was that. And now I know who that was. But if he is on a valid lap, it's not really impeding. In fact, he wasn't a valid lap, to be fair. It just was oddly slow. Oh, Chris Schneider goes to complete the qualifying session. I don't know if it was for any incident of any kind. So he goes very close to the wall there. No, actually changes idea midway. Quite odd. But anyway, Chris Schneider for now goes into the pits. So Tremlin will be the next driver to go across the line with a very good improvement in his name. Currently 4 times away from provisional pole with a 0.7. Tremlin at this moment could as well go into the 0.5 rather. He takes the pole position quite comfortably, 2 tenths of a second for the British driver. He can still submit a lap. Kotke completes the qualifying session, or does it? Yeah, I think he does, definitely, because he's into the wall. To be fair. Trying to push as much as possible. Oh, yeah, the rear wasn't there, and it kept not being there. And he ended up into the wall, so qualifying over even for Kotke. Gabriel is definitely in a very important improvement. His name is currently 7 times out of the pole. Oh, he brakes a little bit too late. Goes on after Forrest's elbow to take the common road straight. Over the curb. A bit too much over the curb, since that curb actually slows you down. And in fact he loses a 10th. An important time that could have made him into the top 3. Oh, misses a bit the apex in the last corner, and another 10th goes by. And in fact it just improves by a single position. Losing around 3 tenths of a second in just the last 2 corners. This means completing in 5th place. And there is just 1 improvement remaining, which is a glorious one. But his improvement will just mean a single position up for the Portuguese. With Robot that may still make something. He is in the very latest moment of his qualifying session, but I can say for certain that he is... Okay, something happened. Something is still happening. I have no idea. Am I still existing? Suppose it was some lag spike for me. .0 for Robot for get speed. And he goes across the line. He just made it after the line, before the 2-minute countdown started, but he improves and he goes in 11th place with Eck, that is going to be the first to start the qualifying session. Just 8 minutes remaining, so this means roughly 3 laps. kind of. So there really isn't all the time in the world for the qualifying session. It's actually just a 10-minute qualifying with a lap that lasts for more than 120 seconds. I suspect a lap of 2.0 flat will arrive, and maybe even a 59 is possible. With the Huracan GT3 Evo 2, the US version, quite recognizable by the fact that on the very top of the roof there is a gigantic airbox that goes on the in the engine, and because of the shark fin that you can see from the side. But here comes second into Ures corner. It's going to be a 0.1, a very good lap with Ulrich that goes in 5th at the moment, and Keenan that goes in 7th, with Robinson in 11th. I think Garby goes in 6th place, with Sims in 21st, Sanchez in 23rd, and Alves goes in 14th, with Keys in 12th. And Velman in 22nd place. See, there are a bunch of names that are missing, either for a non-valid lap or for a late exit. But now Ek is definitely not going to be a driver that will improve, since he is off the pace altogether. Ulrich may be able to do it. 2 times may put him just behind Ek, depending on how much, since his gap to Tremlin is nearly 3 times. It's just shy of 3 times. But for now he is going to be in 3rd with his rhythm. The same goes to Garby. Not really, since Garby has a tiny bit more pace. Nearly 4 times of improvement. Same goes to Keenan, 4 and something times of improvement for the Irish driver, now in 8th place in the Lamborghini. Same car as the Pulsitter at the moment. And it's going to be a very good improvement in the very last corner, since he gains nearly a 10th there, but he remains outside the first row. He goes in 3rd place. This becomes the 4th after Keenan crosses the line, and goes in 2nd place with the Italian manufactured car, which is actually an Audi under these guys. And Garby completes the wave of sub 0.5 in 2nd place. With Keys that improves himself, he goes in 7th place, but remains outside the top 5. With Veldman that actually puts himself in 6th place in the proper Audi. With Ulrich that is showing yellow flags. So something happened here, because I'm clearly seeing the lap is not a valid one anymore. He goes well, then it doesn't go anymore. I'm not really sure, since there isn't much time remaining. He's going to have just a single lap to be able to put an improvement, but in a single lap you really aren't able to hit your tires. And Keenan also shows yellow flags. He goes into the wall. I think he went into the wall. The very last sections. Goes over the curb. The first one, the second one, the third one. He goes a bit too much there and loses the rear. Hits the rear heavily into the wall and proceeds to try to at least have another shot for just trying to have an improvement. He just has a 5-second buffer though, which is not much. Look, actually 10 seconds to be honest. And Garby may be able to clinch into the 0.12. Since he is nearly 2 times better than himself. And he goes astronomically quick in the last corner and actually put a 0.0. Just shy of the 59. The McLaren number 221 is definitely in another continent compared to the entirety of the grid, since his lap is nearly, well actually is half a tenth quicker than 6th place, with the top 5 actually finding some troubles trying to stick to the top 2. Ek is definitely trying. That's way too much. That's way too much. That was a bit too much wide. He completely demolishes the car. Oh, he went into the grass, that's why. And goes into the wall twice. The car is done. And his qualifying is also done. And he will stay in 2nd place. Hopefully that doesn't happen into the race, otherwise the race is gone. And there isn't much you can do with all the damage. Few drivers are still trying to make an improvement. Robinson made it in 7th place now, just in front of Kiss, that made the lap. Oh, and the wall too. That's another one into the wall. Many drivers actually go into the wall, more than the usual, rather. So he goes over the curb, goes downhill. Unfortunately, there's a Porsche in front, and he put himself into the barrier. So another drive that actually it's getting very common, in some odd ways, to see someone crashing in this session. But Garby is still trying to improve. He makes it the same lap time, 0.057. Can I see? Oh, it was a 0.1, so it will still be a pole position. So for now the pace is good for Garby. With Keenan that's still trying his best. He needs a lot, 2.5 times. For now he has 2, so something can still happen. As a matter of fact, he not only has 2, he may have even 3. And the Porsche in front will definitely help, but as I thought, he was a bit too quick into the hairpin, and he went sideways into the hairpin, losing a 10.5. But someone that actually goes into 3rd place out of nowhere is Alessandro Corso for FRS in a 114 Bentley that puts a single valid lap. He was last prior to that, and he puts it into 3rd place with Keenan. That is definitely making a huge advantage of the Porsche up ahead. In fact, he is going to make an improvement of 2 places. He goes into 2nd, just a 10th away from Garby. So your pole sitter are going to be Garby in the McLaren 221 and Tremley in the 272 Ferrari 296. But now I'm going to do the usual. So this, and this. Voila. Give me OBS. and give me the race control so I can see who I'm looking at. Voila. So we're going to go over the qualifying grid with the first, well, the even numbers on the right and the odd numbers on the left. But we have Garby and Keenan in first and second with, wait, let me do something very clever. Can I do it like this? Okay, wait. With Eck in third, Corso in fourth, with Tremlin being the pole sitter in silver class, as you can see from the yellow number plate on the windshield. Then Ulrich in the 41 BMW, then Veldman in the Audi, Robinson behind with Kies in front of Nibali in the top 10. Then Kotke, Schneider, Smith, Jabudal in the McLaren 531 on your left with Novak, Kasitrash, and then Alves in the number 8 Porsche. Then there is Sberla and Longden and Robat in the top 20 with Gallo in the 444. Then Parks, May, Canton, Sims, Woodward, and then Sanchez, Olesny, Osorio, Jones, Vasiliadis, Brown, and Vergoe, completing your qualifying session. The engine are about to start, and we are going to have a little drone lap of this majestic circuit. Honestly, one of my favorites because of the fact that a little mistake is going to cost you a lot, and because here more than in every other place consistency is the key, not being quick, since many times you will have to bear with some other cars. But here we are, 1 hour and 30 minutes mandatory pit stop, and we start with Hell Corner, slightly banked, as you can see here, to the left. Then the first of the straights, with the mountain straight being 1.1 kilometers long. You go all the way to the 5th gear. You don't really put the 6th, since you actually use the engine brake to your own advantage. Because Griffin's Bend is in 2nd gear. You usually brake around here on the tarmac, here where it ends. That's your braking point. And then turn 2, slightly banked. You really want to use that banking to your own advantage. You can go very much on the outside there, since the curve actually helps you staying on the inner part, or rather the effective surface. And then turn 3 and 4 with the cutting. Oops, I was looking at the names. With the cutting, then it's going to be Quarry Corner, then up into the mountain with a huge complex of corners. It's a very long session and extremely technical. A single tap in the wall means that you will keep tapping the wall, and if things go wrong, it's going to be very wrong, that's certain. But here we are on the left's McFerney Park. There on the left side, you really want to hit the curb, but not too much, because at the end of the curb there is a little sort of altitude difference between the curb and the tarmac, and you end up into the gravel and then the wall. The walls are going to be a very common occurrence in this racetrack, it's quite obvious there. And then downhill with the dipper, the most famous part of the circuit. We then go into Forest Elbow, this part here that we'll see a lot of drivers locking up the rear, as you can clearly see already from the tire marks. You really need to ramp up your ABS in that section, otherwise your tire wear will rise dramatically. Then we go into Conrad Straight, 1.9 kilometers long, with turn 20 being just in the middle of the very same straight. Little house here, which is actually in this one here, which actually you can buy, and I will buy it, to be fair. Then here we go to the very final part of the chase with 22 and 23. No, with 21 and 22, sorry. 23 is the last one. Oops, a bit too much! I wanted to do this thing here, but I went for a 360 for a moment. So we go, wait, can I do like something? Okay, it was a terrible idea! Okay, never again. With Murray's Corner completing your racetrack. 2 minutes long. Built in 1930. But we are just seconds away from the green light on the Australian track. For 90 minutes of racing, we go for round number 4. And away we go with a very good start by the McLaren and the Lamborghini, with Eck actually slowing down a bit compared to the Bentley. Keenan goes and sees himself into second place comfortably, with Eck behind and Garvey just in front. Corsa still in 4th place with Tremlin and Ulrich and Wellman that may try to make something out of that, but the Bentley is very good in the straight line. It has always been, and thanks to the BOP, it can rise again from the ashes. With Corsa that utilized the banking to go into 3rd place, and behind it is Corsa with Tremlin that nearly goes for a move over Eck, but that doesn't happen. I'm not seeing any yellow flag for once. And Krishnada takes the place on Nibali, that's for 2nd place in silver class. And Garby already takes a very good advantage over Keenan, 6 tenths of a second over the Irish driver. And here we are into the deeper. Keenan taking some gap away from Garby quite quickly. Garby nearly picking up nearly a second of gap to Keenan that actually has to start looking in the mirror quite quite frequently. Rather, sometimes I say the wrong words for what I intend to say. Apologies for that. Waldman is very close to the car in front compared to Robinson behind. Oh, you can see they're going to the right, trying to go over the curb, but that's extremely dangerous. In fact, he doesn't go for the move. He actually stays behind. And for a brief moment, I saw the car sideways. Bali, and Smith go basically straight, with Alves taking the best out of the situation. 4 cars, all side by side, over Murray's Corner, with Longden taking the place on Nibali. And I think the same applies to Jabural, that goes on the left side of the driver with black and green and white and red colors. But the green McLaren goes on and takes place number 14, which is 15 class. And there is a chance that even Longden may become an objective of Jabural. If everyone on the right side of your screen. Oh, going extremely wide there. As a matter of fact, he lost the majority of the places he made. Oh, Smith goes into the wall. No, that's the wall for Smith. Heavy contact into the barriers. And quite likely, the pace is going to have a bit of a stop there. For now, everything remains the same. I want to see if I can see something that has happened. Oh, there is a car into the wall! Oh, there is Smith into the wall! Oh, there is Smith and another BMW with Smith that goes quickly into the pits, but unfortunately there has been a several car incident here. You can see with Drobat. Oh, Drobat went sideways actually. It's 2 different incidents. You can see from here both the situations with the BMW that collides with Smith, and that's Woodward going into the pink Mercedes. It's a chain reaction. You can see heavy damage on the front of the car. That's more damage. That's a lot of damage, to be fair. And I don't think Woodward will have a good race for now. So Garby is still in the lead, with Keenan following, Corso and then Eck in 4th place. Then Tremlin, Venman and Ulrich with Robinson and Keys following very closely, with the McLaren here going to the left side, the 336 going in the right. Side by side they remain for now, but the Mivu will have to prevail and remains in 8th place with Keys behind in 9th place. These camera shots are too good, are simply too good. I love them too much. It's a bit unfortunate that Bathurst 12 hour has been a bit behind on schedule, kind of saying, because of what happened in 2020. And now he's slowly coming back to its position of an important race into the calendar, with 2 years that really weren't that great in terms of participants. Garby definitely on fire this race. A second and nearly 2 seconds on Keenan, with Corso following very closely, and that was Eck. That was Eck becoming quite aggressive on Corso's mirrors. Oh, there's been something. Oh, there's been something massive. Something has happened here. Between several cars. We can see what happened between May and the Ferrari of... Oh! Yeah, that was not ideal. It was Paul Sims. You can see it back from this camera. Oh, that's definitely... I can't really understand why the number 30 just abruptly swept into the other Ferrari's line. That definitely didn't help, with Sanchez that takes 19th place over Parks, with Canton being 2 seconds up ahead in 18th place. Oh, nearly going to the wall then. And giving the chance to Parks to try to make it happen. There is a wall tap. There is a wall tap with Jabudal going sideways over the gravel. And remains where he is. Meanwhile, here there is a bit of a traffic jam situation. Oh, that's Jones. That's Jones going sideways. He doesn't hit the wall, but he definitely has to go back on track in a safe manner. As we go a bit further up, it's Bellman still fighting with Tramlin. That's for 5th place overall. The leader in silver class definitely has a good run for now. In fact, he is already indicating that he is not going to fight. You can see from the blinker being activated. He obviously wants to keep it steady. Okay, I'm starting to think the blinker is on for another reason. Okay, I think it is for that reason. He doesn't defend, he let Velman pass through. He understands that he is battling with Kotke for the championship. and not with Tremlin, with Wellman. Situation up ahead is still the same for now, with Keenan being close to 2 seconds away from Garby, with Corso the same 2 seconds away from Keenan, and there is a yellow flag there. It's Olesny Javural. No, Javural and Parks. Oh, with again Javural the very same mistake. And these were 2 different incidents. Park that went into the wall on by himself. Oh, and at the time, he made also contact with Bell, I think. So not a situation for the Bimbo driver there. Did he make contact with... Wait, because there's been an incident with Osorio, to be honest. Or it was some tap. Then it was another contact with... No, it was with Brown. Oh, okay, it was with Brown. That went on the right, tried to make a move in a bit of a difficult manner and throw the other driver into the wall. So I think the Brown will have something to say to the stewards at the end of the race. Ooh, Corsa's line was a bit off the rail, giving Eck the chance to close the time. But at the moment, nothing is going through. I may have spoke too soon since he goes into the inside. He tries to go to the inside, he actually takes the place in the shortest amount of time possible, and not really in the largest door in the world. He takes the third place. Corsa was a bit on the inside, but he left just enough space to give a gap to the Swedish driver that now runs away from Corso, leaving him to Wellman, and actually, that was a misshift, and actually targeting for Keenan up ahead, and actually gained us half a second in the last lap. It's Ulrich that also takes the spot in 6th place. And Tremlin, ooh, that's a bit odd by Tremlin, because this leaves a gap to Kotke to make a place. Wonder if it was... Oh, it was the wall, definitely. That was the wall, nearly making contact with Robinson behind. Close call for Robinson in the 336. And now Tremblay also lost the position on Kotke, which is the leader in silver class. Should be good now, the volume, by the way. Should be, not really sure. The case behind us is clearly interested in 7th place. So for now, Kotke left some lot of meters between him and Keys in front, which is actually trying to close the gap to Robinson up ahead, which unfortunately was a consequence of Tremblay's error. Lost a good chunk of time to Ulrich in 6th. From the fastest lap of the race is in Garby's name, at 0.8, the best lap. But at the moment, he's getting targeted by Keenan, going quicker and quicker on the laps. Now the gap is just 6 tenths of a second, so Garby is slowly falling in terms of pace. 1.3, the consistency is definitely there. The race pace is a bit slower compared to Keenan's one, with a 0.977 in the Irish driver scoreboard. But still the situation is slightly different, with a 0.1.7 on Robinson's side and a 0.1.5 on Keys. That will soon become something else. That's the move. And wait, what? Something else. Oh, there was a mistake there. Oh, there was a mistake on Garby, and that's the pass for the lead. That's Keenan that goes in the lead of the race. Huge mistake by... Oh, Robinson is into the wall too. So we left them side by side. What else has happened? Oh, he went a bit too much wide. The same as what happened with Garby, except is that he made also contact with the McLaren, and he is now still trying to find a way to leave turn 2. That's in 22nd place now, and he was in 7th earlier on. But big mistake by Garby. It actually took by surprise even me, since I was looking at the times, and there was half a second of difference. He completely missed the braking point, apparently. Oh, again, in the rear. Not really helping there. And Alves is showing yellow flags. Oh, Alves is sideways. Oh, he lost the rear all by himself. Unfortunately, he finds himself sideways with anybody that also was involved. We want to see what happened to Garby, to be honest. This was Garby's point of view of turn 2. So he goes on. Oh yeah, he definitely braked way too late. Nearly lost the rear. And then lost also the place on Keenan. Yeah, he definitely braked extremely late. And that's a situation. It was Keenan that took advantage of the mistake and took a place. Also, there was Nibali that had an incident with the Porsche that was sideways. Oh, it was simply a very unlucky situation where he tapped the Beamer and threw himself into the barriers on the right side of the track. But now we'll keep it here. With oh, long then, never mind, because he's into the wall. And a huge chunk of damage in the front end of the car. This is the reason he goes a bit sideways, way too much sideways. Lost the rear and went into the wall in a very odd place. And even the 15 of Olesny is sideways with a Porsche also being there. Wait, the Porsche is Olesny. Oh, it was the Ferrari actually going into the wall and can't really recall who that was. Oh, I know who that was. It was Vergoe lapped and also the one who provoked the incident. Longren goes into the pits for repair of the car and to try to go to the end with a massive undercut, kind of mandatory undercut. As Robert has showed something, but it's not really happening there. So now Keenan, without mistakes, keeps the lead of the race, managing already to clear an entire second on the car behind. Gains another alpha second on Garby. 0.01.1, which is a very good time. 0.1.6 for Garby, which is definitely not a very good time, considering that Eck made a 0.1.2 in the very same lap, and stopping a 40-second penalty for Longden for spinning into the pit lane. So not a great evening for the British driver in the 328 Porsche. Clearly finding some difficulties. With Corsa there that nearly gets overtaken by Verman. The gap was 1 second prior to the deeper. It's clearly a mistake. But I didn't see any yellow flag, so I suspect he just went wide. Because I just can see the fact that he made a mistake. But I can't recall where. But it's clear that Vedman has a good idea to how to apply pressure, and who knows, maybe even make a move. Obviously Bathurst is not really one of those tracks where it is easy to overtake. As a matter of fact, you usually just have 3 points. Turn 1, turn 2, and Conrod well, the straights obviously, but the chase in terms of corners. You can also make it here, but I really would like to see you making it. It's actually possible though. Trust me. Source. Me. And not on the inside. Because on the inside you really don't have much space to work with. Nor you have a good traction over the hairpin. It's actually the outside that really gives you that overtake power. And it's actually way safer than you would expect, since the driver on the inside really can't do anything. Let's stay behind. And speaking of straight, the Audi V10 is kicking in, trying again inside. Last time it didn't go so well. This time it goes a bit better. And Corso goes over the curb, but can't really do anything. The outside there is stronger than the inside. And Bellman goes into 4th, with Corso falling in 5th already. He was in 3rd at the start of the race. Now he's going quite slower. I wonder if the damage he picked up, which I missed unfortunately, is ruining his face. It will be clear when he will go into the pits. And if he repairs the car. If he doesn't, well, we will remain with a doubt. But for now, his lap is not great. 0.3.0 in the last reading. With Wellman that made a 0.2.1 with the overtake too. Same around the Corsa's lap was better than Bellman's one. 0.2.2 for both drivers. But considering also Corsa made a mistake, a costly mistake prior to the dipper, it may put some hope in the Italians' race. But no, there is a bit more than half a second between the two drivers. Lapping into 0-2s, so giving Ulrich a chance. Oh, that's a wall tap for the Italian. Oh, Garby's off! Garby's into the wall! Trying to recover as quick as possible. They really want to see what happened there. Oh, he went in the mountain way too quick. Crashing into the wall twice. Sideways, nearly colliding with Ek 2. And unfortunately, that's also race over for Garby. Into the wall twice. That's a DNF. Very likely. Or they released the last place, which doesn't really change the things. Since he made the 30 minutes of racing, I think he still is counted toward the points. He was getting approached by Ek, but that clearly will go somewhere else. And Osorio is also into the wall in the very same place. Into the wall twice. You can see what happened to Osorio. Oh, it was actually the Porsche in front that made the contact with him. It was long then. In the 3-8 Porsche. And now Brown is going to overtake Osorio for 15th place. With the Porsche coming to a halt in the background. For a brief moment. So definitely a bit more contacts than I thought that would have happened in this race here. With Ulrich now becoming bigger in the mirrors as time progresses. With Kotke that out of nowhere sets at 01.7 as his personal best and the last lap, and the same pace is in the hands of the leaders. So either Kotke found the key to his progresses, or it was just a very lucky lap. I hope for the first. The moment he is the leader in silver class, 3 seconds away from Keys 6th in pro and overall. But the start finish line will tell us the story. 01.8 for Ulrich, 01.9 for Corso, and 01.9 for Kotke. So yes, it actually seems like he found the key. As a matter of fact, he put 4 seconds of gap between himself and Tremblin behind, as the McLaren 202 to 802 is now chasing the cars in front. Also, Keenan made us 01.6 with a 0.7 from Ek, a 0.5 from Velman, a 0.9 for Corso, Ulrich 0.8, same goes for Keys with Kotke 0.9, and then we have a 0.3 for Tremblin. With few different laps from the drivers behind. X-Pace also is going great. He has the same car as Keenan, but for now the 3 seconds gap has been shrinking a bit since the hour and 10 mark. It was 4.5 earlier on, if I remember correctly. It was 4. That's not sure. I'm sure it was 4. Now it's 3 seconds. So I suspect that this one is indeed a DNF. So the mountain giveth, the mountain taketh. It does happen. You just have to move on. In terms of championship, what does this mean? Well, the answer is simple. I just have to check it. As of now, Kieran is with 200 points in the lead of the championship, with Ek following 11 points behind, and Nopek that will actually have a second 0 round since he's not in the race, which isn't great for his championship, with Garby that was in a 16-second gap. Now it will further up more since the first round was a drop round and it was 9th for him. Then Zagdal, that is not in the race tonight, the same applies to him. 10th in the first round. With Ulrich that for now has a 27 points gap that will probably get enlarged since Ulrich drop is a 7th. Then we have Giovannini and Alves, and then Gallo with Wegman in 10th place. While in silver class, the situation is slightly different, with Kotke in 199 points, with Bademsi that is not here, so another drop round. Oh, the 15 is off. The 15 is off. Olesny back into the pits. Well, unfortunately, it's just a very final part of it. As I was saying, Kotke will probably remain the leader since he's still in the lead, also in class. With Bademsi, then Smith, that also is not to be found, and Osorio in 4th, 20 points behind, but for now is in the middle of the grid with Brown, then Longden, Jaudal, Tremlin, that is making a very good round compared to the usual. 15th, then 12th, then 6th, and this round he was first, now he is second, so definitely a good one. Now the BMW is getting closer to the Bentley up ahead. not of importance is also that Velman is getting approached by Corso. Now the gap is 2 seconds. The last lap, 2 times have been eaten up by... That's Canton. Something has happened to Canton, it's quite clear there. He was behind the green and white Ferrari. I think he went extremely wide. As a matter of fact, it was that he went extremely wide and left the position to Sanchez in the 73 that is going in PowerPoint. Why is Sanchez and Gal are not going great? So there are these 3 drivers, 4. What? Why? Why are they going in PowerPoint per seconds? And I would like to say I'm lagging or I'm freezing. You can clearly see that. Oh! I think Keenan just went slightly wider. But he's clearly improving. The gap was getting shorter than 2 seconds in the last lap. 4 times have been gained by Keenan, 01.0 in the last lap. And in fact the trend is getting better. So there are a couple of cars that are going very bad on my screen. As I was saying, Corso actually is gaining massively on Velman. A second half is now the gap between Velman and Corso. So second half that is getting shorter and shorter. It seems like also kind of found back the credibility he had on himself earlier on, the focusness even. But now we are getting to the point of the pit stops. 47 minutes and 55 seconds to go. And the race is an hour and a half. 45 minutes mark is the halfway mark. And since this track is very, very difficult to make an overtake, I suspect some drivers will prefer the undercut to anything else. But I'm not seeing any move, which is odd. Usually it's the opposite way around. Definitely Corsa's race would benefit massively from this, but they are clearly not in the mood. Ooh, the number 30 is into the wall now. Oh yeah, the car was already not in great shape, and then it kept going wrongfully bad, tapping the wall at least 25 times. Then sent into the pit straight away. Wellman still falling. 01.7. Not a great lap for Wellman compared to the usual. Of course, also made one, but this is actually an outline. Since the last laps were more on the 01.3. Sima Professor Ulrich. I'm seeing a PowerPoint car. I don't know why there are a couple of cars that are slightly glitched. I would like to say that's my... Oh, my microphone. Okay. It's my my problem or game's problem. I don't know which. I would like to resolve it, but apart from seeing a slideshow of a of a Ferrari, that now is not there anymore. This Bellman is just behind that Ferrari that was reaching the distance. It is the 999 of Woodward that leaves the space for Bellman that utilized the Ferrari for his own advantage. Going a bit faster into the straight line. Both Keenan and Eck went into the pits at the same time. And last laps weren't so great for the duo. Or rather, it was not great for Eck. Because I was effectively looking at both times, but I forgot they went into the pits. But there is a little difference because Eck had lost half a second going into the pits compared to Keenan. Probably he went a bit safer into the pit limiter, or Keenan actually went way too quick in the speed limiter. We will have a notice in the upcoming minutes. Meanwhile, these ones here are still going for the overcut. I'm not really sure the reason there. I'll be honest, this is not a track where you want to overcut, so like, I really don't know why that's it out. I would have expected everyone to be already into the pits and already changed it, but clearly no. Keenan actually was just better into the pit and gained some time, but at the same time he lost some time. He missed the pit box and he lost 2 seconds on Eck. So as a matter of fact, now Eck is just half a second, or 1 second and a half away from Keenan, with Eck that gained around a second and a half. I don't think it was damage repair, and Ulrich is off. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, thanks for the yellow flag, Mr. Marshall. I really needed it in my eyes. So this is the reason he went inside. He lost the rear with cold tires. And yep, he is now back into the wall, so I suspect it's a DNF even for Ulrich. Cold tires, and the rear slipped off. Bit of a rookie mistake there, but it happens. As always with cold tires, always remain, I won't say slow, but calm is the right word, and Ulrich understood what happens if you don't do it. So another retirement for the race, leaving the grid to, I think I stopped counting the DNFs, to be fair. Bellman still into the pits, so Keenan passes through, and same goes to Eck. But this time Ulrich will not be a problem. Corsa is still out, so Bellman will go back into the road without any traffic to deal with. Korske, also leader in silver class, goes back into the road. As a matter of fact, now Ek is definitely going quicker, an entire second, and only that gaps the top two. Yukinan that is facing some struggles early on with the tires. Ek in comparison is definitely putting some time over Keenan. Now the Lamborghini's shadow is getting closer with the shape of the Huracan becoming larger and larger in X windshield. Corsa has lost some time into the pits. The reason is for some either damage repair or missed pit box. The time in the pit was a bit longer than Velvan's one. He lost 3 seconds in the pits. I scare about the fact that now the gap between Velvan and Corso is not 2.5 seconds, but it is 5.5 seconds, with Keys actually becoming a bit of a dangerous asset. Less than 2 seconds behind. And then Kotke is in 7th with Chris Schneider that still has to... No, wait. Wait. Sophie. Oh, Tremlin has repaired the car. And Chris Schneider is now in 2nd place in silver class. 20 seconds behind the leader in class. And 48 behind the leader overall. For now we stay here. The last lap was a 0.1.2 for Keenan and 0.1.1 for Ek, with the Swedish steadily gaining some advantage over the Irish driver up ahead that will probably use the slipstream of the car in front, which I'm not really sure which car it is. It is the number 2, no, it's, is it Ulrich? No, it's a BMW, that's for certain, but I think that's Parks. That definitely is Parks in a 35 BMW, since Ulrich is not in the race anymore. I thought he was back in the racetrack, but he is not even in the lobby altogether. So now the race is composed of only 25 drivers of the 33 that started it. And now there is a bit of an issue because Novak is... Oh wait, that's Novak! My mistake, apologies. It is Novak that is becoming a bit of an obstacle for Kina because he still has to pit, but he is not lapped, so he can effectively do whatever he wants. And for now, whatever he wants means Keenan is going to be obliged to make an overtake, and not really a blue flag pass. As you can see, no blue flags are being shown. That is my mistake, apologies for saying earlier on it was the other BMW in last place. And Novak for now doesn't have any obligation to let the other two pass. He can just fight with them even if it doesn't make any sense since he still has to pit. He goes to the right, so he actually let them pass at the end, understanding that it is not his race and these two are not his class. But here it is, the car 78 carrying the other Huracan in the 51. Però free temps are still distancing the two drivers here. There is a bit of a gap now between the two, and this leaves Keenan some time to breathe some air. 02.1 was the last lap for Keenan, and Eck was at 01.7. This time around, it's at 0.6, which is actually the fastest lap of the race so far, and 01.1 for Eck, so it's quite clear that Keenan is on his way to at least try to create some distance between himself and the Swedish behind. The back marker in front this time. This time it is a back marker. It's the Porsche number 792 or 328. Okay, it is a 328, but we'll see the two Lamborghini pass through. First one is Keenan, and the second one is Eck. Luckily for Keenan, it was just on straight, and now there is some free air up until the car number 5. What is it? I can't read. 503. I think it's the 503. But that situation actually left Eck making a good improvement. Not only an improvement in terms of time, but also in terms of fastest lap, since Eck stole it from Keenan 0.637. Just a tiny bit faster than Keenan. And a roll up for the Swedish driver. Because now there is the mountain section, which leaves a little space for Eck to work with. I think on 328, huh? Oh wait, that was that Corso? Oh, it was Corso! Oh, that's a major one! In fact, Kiss overtakes him. Oh, that's just unfortunate. It was the Porsche in the middle of the way. And as a matter of fact, the one behind was Kiss that overtakes Corso with easiness. I want to see it back from... Wait, because... No, okay, definitely no. I want to see it back from Corso's point of view. So you can see here, blind corner, and finds the Porsche just in the middle, sitting in the middle of the way, and now Corso is stopped on the track. So expect another DNF for us. Well, here is slightly different. Tremini is also on his way to try to make a position more in second place. So now the grid is back. Well, it's down to 23 drivers. Maybe even 22 if Longden doesn't come out of the pits. It's basically an elimination round, this one. The effective only chance for Ek to make a move is in or around here. As you can see in the first sector, seems like Ek is slightly faster than Keenan in the last sector compared to the first and second. Where it is the opposite. But there are two straights where Ek can play. The second one comes now, which is actually the first one. 3 times is the gap. There actually is another place, but it's really sure that turn 4 is a chance in this situation. Oh, slightly out of apex for Keenan. And this time it was Ek that goes a bit wider, going close to the wall and losing a second of time. That mistake was costly. That really was not what Ek wanted, but certainly that's what Keenan will use for himself. Now Ek has to make back that second that he has lost, those temps that he had, the slipstream that helped him up until now is gone, so he has to make it out all by himself. As we go for the battle for second place in silver class, they are currently into turn 2. And Schneider this time around is going a bit slower. In the last lap it was half a second of difference between Tremlin and Schneider, with the first one going faster than the latter. The 296 there is defending in the deeper, which is not a great idea, as you can see. The 296 goes sideways for a moment. Out of apex. 2. Gnoma that finally goes into the pits. After nearly an hour, or more than an hour to be fair. He's basically doing the endurance stint timer. Unless he's just going for the fuel. Because I don't remember if it is full service. Because if it is full service, I don't really understand the situation. Extremely close between the two drivers. With the 296, number 14, that keeps the line with Tremlin actually going sideways. So yeah, it was a full service as I remember correctly, so I don't understand why Novak went so long. It was not a great idea to begin with. But he will not lose time anyway. Well, not too much. He will go behind Tremlin. And as another news, Ek actually managed to gain back everything. This time Osorio may have been the cause of it. with Keenan cleverly using Zorio as a bit of a bump draft stopper, as a slipstream stopper for a brief moment, but you can see now the gap is very little, 3 tenths of a second only between the two. The last lap that is probably going to be a 0.2 for Keenan. It is a 0.1.6 actually, a 0.9 for X, so it's a combination of a bit of a slow pace and a very quick one by Ek. Bellman made a 0.1.0 personal best, even if he's 17 seconds behind the two and 12 seconds ahead of Kiss, so not really worthy in terms of any gain or anything. So now these two remain here. Meanwhile, the difference is between Krishnader and Tremlin. Oh, with Tremlin that stops himself way later compared to Krishnader, and Tremlin gains 6th place, which is 2nd place in silver class, with Krishnader that still in the podium, but for now he will stay behind the driver that started in 5th place, with a pace that probably would have given him even the win if it wasn't for that mistake in the first elbow. Now another backmarker will not be in a great position, but still not in the worst position. So actually Keenan is getting a bit lucky in that regard. He's not encountering them on the uphill section, he's just encountering them on the downhill section. For now it is a good thing. The next one is going to be though the 987 of Vasiliadis in 14th place. In fact, Keenan's pace was not at all ruined by the car in front. With 1.2, it was actually a bit impacted, but Ek made a bit of a terrible lap in comparison. 0.1.5 without any real issue in front, so it was more on Ek this time around. 20 minutes remain on the race, so actually just a tiny bit more than 22. So I suppose 11 laps to go for the duo here. This one is also the closest battle we have at the moment on track. Astonishing how we basically lost a third of the grid since the start of the race. 33 drivers started the race, only 23 are still in the lobby. Pretty much a survival run for all of them. And Novak, in 8th place, is starting to gain traction because last lap for Tremlin Schneider was a 0.3.5. Novak just made it sub 2, is 1.9, gaining nearly 2 seconds off the duo in front of him. But there are still 8 seconds to cover. Very quick one for this time around, at 0.9 and 0.8, so sub 0.12. And with this rifle, wait, Tremlin has been overtaken. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Was that a... Oh, it was an incident. Oh, heavy hit with the barrier. And... A second hit was following there. A second one on the left side. Putting a lot of issues on the 296, number 272. So now Novak is probably looking ahead, feeling lucky. Those 4 seconds are now very close, all of a sudden. As we go back in front, some around it side by side for Keenan and Ek. But it's not yet the time as Ek goes actually into the inside, but breaks just enough early to not make any contact. No, Ek is back. Oh, that's a lot of rear brake locking for Benjamin Ek. You can see the reason here. Did he brake on the grass? Oh yeah, he braked on the grass and the rear couldn't really stop in time for a brief moment, putting Ek back 2 seconds. Now he's already on second half. That was really the moment for Keenan, because in that lap, in fact I was pretty distanced considering that there was a good chunk of gap between the two. Keenan lost nearly 2 seconds in that lap for, well, because he found another car in his path, and X lap was definitely better until that moment in the chase. As you go back here with Novak, will likely make the pass in a very easy manner. But you can see here Wood that goes in 7th place, which is third overall, which is third in the silver, which is 6 seconds behind Chris Schneider. So actually the gap is getting shorter on the stick. Earlier it was 8 seconds, so actually 2nd place may still be available for Novak. Oh, another wall! Oh, that's trembling off. That's trembling off into the barrier. That car is not having a good time with the suspension that at this point is done and dusted. Really finding a massive difficulties. The moment Brown is a bit further away, but he has 45 seconds of difference. But I think he's going to put his car in the garage and to call it a day. 15 minutes to the end. Because he was in the very lead of the silver class, and now he is going to not complete the race. So back to Ek here. two drivers remain, so now it is effectively a third of the grid that is not in the race anymore. Clearly now Eck is trying to push as much as possible to try to make up the time he has lost earlier on. These 2 seconds are going to be worth a victory. Behind there is also another situation that may sparkle Robinson, which is now in 10th place. With the effective spin that he had with Kiss, is now in close proximity not only to Sanchez Masugalo, which will put him just behind the very car that he lost the battle with, considering that the 3 ahead are silver drivers, not counted towards the pro leaderboard. A little info regarding the top 2. They both made the same exact lap time, so they clearly are good the same way. 01.6 for 670 for both drivers. Now it's a bit different. 01.167, sorry, because it just disappeared from my screen, so I had to kind of remember it. 0.167 for both drivers the lap prior to this one, because now they made a 0.2 and a 0.9 for Eck, so 2 times have been gained by Eck. He still needs 15 more temps though. 2 out of 17 is good, but considering more or less 6 laps remain to the finish line, he has to make it quick. Compared to here where Robinson in the last lap didn't make anything, but the lap prior, an entire 6/10 of a second have been gained by the BMW driver for SimTech Racing. Novak is also gaining on Krishna, and in the last lap he gained a second and a half, putting the gap to 3 seconds between the second and third in silver class. As you can see now, Robinson is very close to Sanchez up ahead. That's for 6th place in pro class. They have to Eck to Keenan is back to a second 0.7, so with this rhythm I really think that the battle for the lead is actually already done. Unless any surprise happens. Call the back markers. looking at the minimap, that is not a chance, since the number 96 is 1000 years in front. And it's not slapping slow enough to be catched in time. This is the time for the BMW driver to make it into the inside, and he goes very, very good into the first part of the chase, and the second part is already done for Robinson to make it into 9th place overall. And now Rogallo is 3.5 seconds ahead. The overtake was so good, I don't think he also lost anything in this lap. In fact, it was at 0.3.3, actually, he lost something. But Gallo now has someone in front that may help him with the slipstream. With this rhythm, I guess we actually just have 4 laps, not 5. Because if they are still up at 0.1, it means... No, okay, maybe not, because it's 7 seconds more. Yeah, it's 7 seconds, so definitely not. So we still have 5 laps to go. And now Schneider is getting approached by Novak behind. But the fact now the gap is just 7 tenths, and Keenan made a great mistake, because now the gap between Ek and Keenan is just a second. So clearly something happened to Keenan. He made a mistake, which was not 7 but 4 times worth, more or less, since the gap was cut by 3 times the lap earlier. But until Keenan is in front of Ek, he can play with it. He can just recharge his batteries. That's a way of saying it. Going a bit slower, a bit safer, avoiding any proper mistake into the wall, into the barriers. Just a tiny bit slower because the gap is there. You can see the BMW that is approaching very rapidly. Three tenths of a second is the gap between the two drivers. A couple hundred meters in terms of distance. And Canton is showing yellow flags. Ooh, something happened here. Going very slowly. Oh, into the barrier too. Oh, that was a mistake too. Something has happened too between the two drivers since a mistake has taken place. It was Schneider going a bit too far on the braking line and leaving the door open to Novak that made the move, and Osorio is also stuck in the middle of the mountain. Luckily with no one passing through. So Novak is in second place in silver. With a very nice move there, and we go back to the very lead of this race. They will just have some more laps. Obviously, Keenan will make everything he can to very likely stop the race earlier. He may actually do it as a way to avoid anything. Because for now, if they continue with this rhythm, they will arrive at the finish line with just 3 seconds remaining. That obviously isn't enough to keep Eck in distance. So unless they go with a slow down, but because I just don't want to do another lap, they would have to make another lap. So this means that it's not 1 to go, but it's 2 to go. When they will cross the line. The same way here, Gallo is losing a massive chunk of time. Someone that really doesn't want the race to end earlier is Robinson. He made the 3 seconds that were distancing him to Gallo, and now the 444 is in proximity, and he can make a move when the time will come. No time of decision. Is it going to be the last lap, or is it going to be 2 to go? It's going to be 2 to go. Unless they can really stretch it. It may be actually the white flag, but I am not entirely sure about that. Robinson very aggressive already in the deeper, maybe thinking about something, but that was very dangerous to even attempt. In fact, he stayed behind, understanding that there is an entire slipstream to make use of, and the BMW is and has always been great in the straight. In fact, you see the gap being demolished as the meters pass. Gallo sticks to the inside. Oh, with Robinson making a great line and making the move even before the braking zone. So that's Robinson going into 8th place, which is 5th or fifth in class. As here, I think Eck said, okay, you have it, let's slow down. So this was very likely the last lap of the race. Yes, in fact, he's probably flashing a light. I'm really sure if he's flashing a light to say, okay, let's conclude it. We tend to go 10 seconds to go, but I don't think that Keenan is trusting it. In fact, he crossed the finish line anyway, so this is the white flag brought to you by Poon Sim Gear. Probably Keenan was, understandably, maybe he thought, okay, I slow down, but what about him? Because that's actually a thing to take in place. There was actually the gap to make it, but never. In this situation, I don't think you are always safe. Like a second, it's like, that's a lot. That's not a lot. So probably said, okay, let's just go safe, and he went for another lap. Also, Farek goes great, considering that he still has a chance to hope for Keenan's mistakes to happen. In this race, he has been clean. He didn't do a single mistake all along. Ek was the one arguably faster, but a couple of mistakes put him behind Keenan, and even when he was getting closer, as of now, for example, he just overwent himself with some costly mistakes that put him behind once more, and then back close, and then behind once more. This time, unless Keenan misses completely the chase, it is going to be after 208 a second. There is still a chance. Okay, no, maybe not. Never say never, but maybe not. Okay, no, it's official. Keenan is going to cross the line in first place and complete the hour and a half Bathurst race in front of Ek just by 3/10 of a second. That comes in second place with the fastest lap of the race too at 0.637, with Veldman that will complete the race in third place in class in his Audi 29, completing the podium. Case is just behind in fourth place. Yeah, number 220. He was starting in 9th, so definitely a good improvement for him. Kotke behind in the McLaren 802 will be the winner in silver class for the sim community, as the German goes across the line, finishing in P1 in silver. Novak will be the BMW number 22, second place in silver and 6th overall. As Chris Schneider was 7 seconds behind, will complete the podium in silver class. The 14. Then it's going to be Robinson that completes the race in 8th overall, but it's going to be 5th in class. Gallo just reaches behind 4 seconds in 444, and then Sanchez is going to be the last on the lead lap to complete the race, and completing also your top 10 of the race. So this was tonight's race. There is still Brown, the Vasiladis with Osorio, Sims, Sbella, Woodward, Jones, Sparks, Longden, and I'm missing a couple of names certainly because Ergo is still on here. But this was tonight's race. I don't know what happened there. Okay. So for some reasons, we're going to rejoin the lobby just to complete the final lap. Okay, but this was tonight's race. It's been a great race so far. Basically an elimination race up to this point. But Keenan and Ek completed the race in P1 and 2, literally one after the other, with Veldman being in the podium for Pro class. Next week is going to be Silverstone on February the 15th. We are into the middle part of the championship. The games are starting to end, and the positions are starting to become more and more clear as the rounds pass. But from me, Cristiano Romano, it was all. Thank you so much for sticking out this evening. Be sure to check it out for Silverstone and of the few one-offs that happen during the month. But for tonight it is all. Thank you so much for coming across in tonight's race, and see you next time. Bye!